Good evening, Joe. I'm going to start off with introducing ourselves. I'm Pat Hanlon, Chair of the Planning Committee, and I'll go to my right, which is...
Vicky Phillips, we've been speaking by email.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Tony Brown, Town Councillor.
Aaron Green, Town Councillor.
And David Smith, another Town Councillor.
Oh, yeah, John Burns. I'm not on the committee, I'm just doing the IT, but I am a councillor as well.
And I'm Colin Paul, I'm the Town Clerk.
Thank you. Right, I'll start with the agenda now. Welcome, everyone, to the Town Council Planning Committee. And item 2, which is apologies for absence. Have you got any? Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry. I must read this script before, because we're going live. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Town Council and where possible live stream on YouTube. Please note that the recording device is sensitive and live stream may be recorded by third parties. So do not say anything you do not want recorded. If necessary, I will direct all recording in the room and live stream to be stopped. But generally I want to avoid doing that. So we will normally record everything except any item taken in closed session. Members of the public may also make their own recordings but must follow our rules for doing so, including stopping recording when requested. Whilst we do not accept anonymous speaking at the public forum, members of the public who wish to speak but do not want their name published must please indicate this before saying your piece. Thank you. Item 1, which is welcome, which I've done. Welcome to the Planning Committee of the Haverhill Town Council. Item 2, apologies for absence, please.
We have Mayor Quinn Cox and Councillor Mary Martin.
Thank you very much. Item 3, declarations of interest and request for dispensation. Anyone? No? Okay. Item 4, welcome to Joe Kemp, who's the Senior Development Planner of LNT Care Development. Welcome, Joe. You're to give a presentation to the committee.
Thank you.
On the planning application DC 260280RN. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah, I must admit I'm not au fait with Zoom, so I'll try and share my screen and hope this goes all right. But if not, you have a copy there, I believe. So, right, can you all see that?
Yes. Yep. Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Start from the beginning. Brilliant. So, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak, particularly as I'm obviously dialing in. I know it's probably not your preferred way to receive a presentation, but I am based up in Yorkshire, so it's definitely the more sustainable option, so thank you. Yeah, as you know, we've put in a planning application for a proposed care home at Great Wolsey Park. And I just thought I'd start by telling you just a little bit about the company and who we are, because I appreciate we've not developed sort of in the area before. So LNT is the UK's leading developer now of residential and dementia care homes. We've built over 260 homes all around the UK. Our founder, Lawrence, and now our chairman, set the company up almost 40 years ago. When he took over a care home that his parents were running and they wanted to retire, and he very quickly realised he could, with his engineering background, design and build a better home that offered a better experience for residents and was easier to operate for staff. So he set about doing that, and the rest is history, as they say. It's gone from strength to strength ever since then. We have, as well as our development and construction arm, we also have our sister company who are called Crystal Care Collection, who actually operate the homes that we build, and they're very focused on basically the resident experience, social inclusion, and making it a real home for local people. We usually find people who move to our homes live probably within about 3 miles of the site already, so it is very much a local facility. Because we operate the homes ourselves, we get direct feedback from not only the staff, but also our residents and their families, and that ensures that the designs, as we sort of work with that feedback and evolve the designs, they are very much care and resident focused. And we use a lot of sustainable development and construction techniques, and more recently have started to develop a flat roofed home, which is what we've proposed here, because we can increase the number of solar panels on the roof. We also use other renewable sources like ground source heat pumps, and we have a battery on site as well to store surplus energy, which we can then use when the solar isn't generating much power on a cloudy day, for example. So a lot of the homes actually run more or less off-grid now in the summer, which obviously reduces a lot of energy consumption, but also reduces the running cost for the home as well. So the site on Willsey Park, I'm hoping you're all sort of more familiar with the locality than I am. I've only been twice, but I'm sure you all sort of know where it is within the park, within the wider development, should I say. You can see from the proposed layout that it is what we call an I-shaped building or an H-shaped building. We've retained the existing hedgerow around the site here. Can you see my cursor, by the way, when I move?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So this is the existing hedgerow. This is the new road that I believe is English Way, and a new access onto here. And then this access is also going to be shared with the neighbouring development as and when that comes forward. So we've got 36 parking spaces, and within that there is 6 electric vehicle charging points, 2 accessible spaces, as well as some of the electric vehicle charging being accessible as well. There's 8 cycle parking spaces, and then here we've got a turning head stroke service bay, and just in front of the main entrance we've got a drop-off area for either taxis or ambulances or anybody that's being dropped off at their home. As I mentioned, we've allowed to retain in the existing hedgerow, and then we will show, as you can see, there's additional planting shown to just strengthen up the boundary and retain some privacy and what have you as well. I've touched upon the access point there. Yeah, you can see the building's been positioned just to fit quite comfortably within the site. These areas here within the sort of centre bit of the I shape, the cutaway bits there are a courtyard garden. So one facing east, one facing west, and there's various different amenity spaces around the building as well. You might just be able to see the dotted line there, which is the sort of railing or the fencing that will be, which will enclose the residents' gardens. So that's like a private amenity space for residents, and they have direct access from the ground floor lounges and bedrooms into that as well, so they can come and go as they please. So just to give you a brief rundown of what we're proposing. Like I said, it's a 66-bed care home. It'll be run by our sister company. It'll provide 50 to 60 local jobs once operational. And we pay very competitively. We usually pay over the minimum wage, so we try and retain our staff. We have ecologically sensitive landscaping, high quality design, new trees and hedgerow planting to supplement biodiversity. As I mentioned, there's 36 parking spaces. We've worked out that our construction of our building will put about 2.7 million into the local economy as people who work on the home spend money, and local suppliers being given business opportunities, that kind of thing. So we're hoping it'll be a real boost for the local area. And then we also provide resident amenities within the home, and they include a cinema, hair salon, a coffee shop and a family lounge as well. There's quite a few activity spaces as well within the sort of wider lounges and other parts of the building. So the appearance, as I mentioned before, it's a flat roof. This is a sort of low parapet walls, so the solar panels will be completely hidden. But it also helps reduce the visual impact because it keeps the height to a minimum, so it's a lot lower than if it were a pitched roof, obviously. We've gone for brick and render and some cladding to ensure the home will be in keeping with the other development nearby. We've got a robust landscaping scheme, so we've got sensory gardens, they'll be colourful year round. And then you can see here on the elevations we've got some brick detailing and use of the different materials, which just sort of breaks up the elevations and adds some articulation. We've got some shadow lines and things up here, which are a nice brick detail as well, which actually don't come out very well in this image, so apologies. This is just viewed from the north-east of the site, so as you came into the site you would turn to look to the right there. This is the side door, just to give you an idea of the courtyard garden and also how low the building will sit in comparison to the surroundings. And actually that's a better visual as well, so hopefully you can see what I mean there about the brick detailing and things. And then this is a close-up of the courtyard garden. Again, just shows you a bit more of the detailing and also the landscaping. And you know, it shows that they are quite well used spaces. And then I've just on the final slide put some elevations on just to show you the full length of the building. Obviously these are just the 2D flat elevations, but it just shows the different materials that we've used and the way the layouts work with the bedrooms, and these ones on the bottom here have the direct access into the garden as well. This is the rear elevation facing south, and this will be the north elevation where the main entrance is. So sorry, I've whizzed through that, but hopefully covered off most points, but please do ask any questions if you have anything else you wish to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. Councillors, do you want Councillor Brown?
Yeah, thanks, Joe, for that great presentation. What I'm interested in really is what do you do for the residents, really? So the people with dementia, is that what sort of care do you provide? What sort of entertainment sort of things do you provide? Just as a matter of interest, really.
Sorry, was that what sort of care do we provide?
Yeah, exactly. And what sort of entertainment? What do you do for the residents? You know, during the day, etc. You know, just so I've got a feel for actually how you operate as a care home.
Yeah. So obviously I work for the care developments team, not the care operation side. So I'll try my best and pass on what they would probably say. But if needs be, I can always ask one of them to contact you if you want a bit more information, because I appreciate, like I say, I don't actually work on the care side. We have a home activities manager in each home, so they will organise daily events. I think there's a programme of events. In fact, if you wanted to look on the website, which I can send you a link to, on any of our homes, I think they show you the weekly events programme. Sorry, the lights have just gone off because I'm here in the office really late. So there is a weekly events programme, so they have all sorts of things. They'll team up with local community groups, schools to do performances. They'll have people in to do a themed evening with cookery. They might do painting, other sort of crafts and art activities. Sometimes have people bring animals into the home. There's all sorts that goes on. Probably far too much for me to relay properly. I think they have film nights and themed nights, so they'll have maybe an Italian evening and all sorts of other stuff, and family are able to come in as well and join in the majority of those events, as I understand it. And then quite often they do events which are open to the wider community, even if you don't have family in the home. So they'll invite the local mums group or running club or something like that in as well, for various different events. So it's quite a packed activity schedule, I think, from what I understand.
Yeah, thanks for that. It sounds terrific. It's always interesting to know, because it's not all about the building. It's you know what goes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
And in terms of the care, it's again, I'm not well versed on this because honestly I'm not a care expert, as it were, but we do a mix of residential and dementia care, and I think it's normally We normally say people come in by when they have a choice, they normally choose to come and live with us. So if anybody comes in with dementia, it's usually fairly low level dementia need, and then as their needs change and as dementia progresses, you know, it might be that they move to a different area within the home, but because the layout in the home is very similar in each different wing and each different floor, it avoids anybody being disorientated, because the rooms will be more or less exactly the same, basically is what I'm trying to say. So it helps people feel at home much quicker.
Councillor Smith?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. So you see, you've got 260 of these care homes around the country. Are they all a similar design? Is this sort of like an off-the-shelf design, or is it bespoke for the sites?
So quite a lot of our early designs were a lot smaller, and then as the company's got bigger, and also the care markets obviously got bigger, and the elderly population has increased, we've started to make them bigger, so they now are all 66 beds. The designs have changed quite a bit over the years, but now we try and operate off 3 different footprints or shapes, if you will. This is the only one that we do that is 2-storey, but basically the floor plan or the footprint will be the same, and then what comes out of the ground is different, so it might have a different roof form, or you know, different. The window patterns are usually very similar, but they do tend to look different from the outside, just depending where they are. Obviously, we try and make them fit in with the locality, and whilst also, you know, keeping them the same from an operational point of view. We're not McDonald's, for example. We don't want all our buildings to look the same, so we try and balance it in between if we can.
Yeah, don't mean to be cruel, but I found the design a bit industrial looking, and the shape of it put me in my MVH box in Northern Ireland. But
how we call them an I shape, because we don't like to call them an H.
Yeah.
You are quite limited when you obviously need every bedroom to have a window, because you obviously, you know, without making it a really strange shape, yeah, it can be quite limiting. But I think maybe it's the flat roof that you're referring to, isn't it, that you think makes it look a bit utilitarian?
Yeah, if you look at the top. Yeah, there's no doubt that we need something like this in the town. You know, we've had a couple of applications that haven't come to fruition for one reason or another, so we do need something like this. All the rooms are identical. So from our sort of plans, a little insert set there which showed one room layout. Are they all identical? To me, I don't know. They look very small on the small side. It seems to be. It probably remind of like a student room in halls.
They're more like a hotel room. They're an ensuite room, a bit like a hotel essentially. So they all have their own ensuite. We exceed the minimum standards that the CQC require in terms of spaces by quite a way, I think. But to make them up, when I say they're all the same, some are mirror images because they're sort of in pairs, so it's sort of two by two. And then actually in this home there is some larger rooms which we call suites. I think there's 4 or 5 of them, and they're more or less double the size. So if a couple wanted to move in and share the same room, they could, or if somebody just wanted a bit more space, it's got like dining and living facilities in it as well as just your bedroom and bathroom.
Yeah, I was going to say there must be some couples that would want a place like this. There's a couple of things about the plans that came up in the documents. So, but do you want to do that later, or
No, do it.
no? It's just there was comments made from about the public right of way for the site not being shown. Are you aware of that at all?
Yeah, I had a conversation with the planning officer about that the other day. We were aware of the one to the west, down the where the drainage swales are and things, so beyond the hedgerow. And then there is one sort of going on to the south, which is way beyond our boundary, which we hadn't shown, either rightly or wrongly. But then what I wasn't aware of was that the one to the north, I assumed would be incorporated on the new pavement along the new road, but I'm not sure whether it is. So Adam, the planning officer, was just going to check with the public rights of way officer whether they expected another footpath or not, because The only problem would be if we provided that, we'd have to punch more holes in the hedge, and which we're trying to obviously retain. So he was going to go back and just check what it was that they were expecting.
I think
So we'll clarify that.
I think you'd have to apply
Yeah.
for a stopping up order for the footpath, wouldn't you, to redirect?
Pardon?
You'd have to apply for a stopping up order from that original path to have it redirected, though, wouldn't you? So that's...
Yeah, sorry, I'm struggling to hear you.
sorry, you'd have to get a stopping up order for the original path if you're going to redirect it.
Right, I don't know if the one shown on the outline commission, I don't think is actually adopted yet, as far as I can understand. So, and I don't think it currently exists yet. So,
Okay.
we'll get to the bottom of it eventually, I'm sure.
Another comment was made on the waste and the number of bins there. So obviously, in June we've gone over to the simple recycling with the waste being further segregated. Is your waste area going to be big enough to handle the extra bins?
All the homes we operate, which are this size, they only have 6 different bins. I think there is 1 clinical waste. They're huge commercial bins, but there's 1 clinical waste, 2 general waste, 2 recycling, and something else. Can't remember off the top of my head. And what I think has happened is, I think that the waste officer has possibly thought it was 66 dwellings.
Right.
Rather than, because they're referred to residence waste and commercial waste, and it actually isn't. It's just the the residents wouldn't empty their own bins, for example. They only have a bedroom, so a small bin in the bedroom and bathroom, which will be emptied by the care staff, which will go into the main waste. So I think, again, Adam's going to go back and check on that, but I think there's probably been a bit of a miscalculation.
Yeah. Interesting you talk about clinical waste. That's a bit of a hot topic at the moment in the town.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, well, I'll finish there. Thanks very much.
Okay, no problem.
Councillor Burns.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. I've been involved in this site for over 20 years. The residential and the outline, the master plan and the outline as well.
Yeah.
And the details. I think, as Councillor Smith said, I was a bit disturbed by the look and feel of the building. Yes, it may be a standard design, but when you think surrounding it all are many £500,000 plus houses with apex roofs, I found it a little bit like a factory being stuck in the middle of a housing estate, which we never envisaged in the master plan. So I'm a little bit worried about it. If it had an apex roof on it, or something that's not just flat, I would say not a problem.
Okay.
The other thing that Councillor Smith also alluded to was about 400 yards away and a mile away, there are 2 active planning applications for care homes. I assume you're aware of those.
Yes, I think, well, we're definitely aware of one. I don't know about the other.
Well, you've got the one on Ratton on way 143, which is the one 400 yards away.
Okay, yeah.
And there's
I think
all-
our land acquisitions team will be, because they're always making sure, and our commercial team will be.
Well, they may not be built, but that one was for 160 spaces, and the one down at the mile away was for 60, I believe. That may not go ahead either. So I was just interested why you're looking at this site, but there's already planning permission for a care home on the 2 other sites.
I mean, what I would say is that we do have a team of people who are constantly looking at the market and the demand. We have some software here which we actually developed in-house, but it looks at, it includes care beds that are in planning as well. And based upon the population and the increase in the elderly population, and everybody's getting older, it sort of gives us a figure basically, and every time we run the software through about one specific site, it tells us if there's anything else in the market. So all I can say is that I'm sure they're on top of it. But
Okay, I just wanted to make you aware.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to make you aware.
But
Obviously,
I imagine there's probably still enough demand, I would think.
Okay, yeah, I mean, obviously this spot was, when we did the master plan all those years ago, we did identify it as a class C2. Whatever it is these days.
Well, thank you. I will double check with them that they're aware of it. Thanks.
Yeah. The other thing is, I suppose, and I did read it in the documents that are online. I couldn't there's been no needs assessment according to the county council. Is that true or false now?
We have done a needs assessment, yeah, but I don't think we'll have submitted it because perhaps, maybe naively assuming as it has a C2 outline, we maybe didn't think we needed to.
Oh, well, the council have said that on their comments, they've actually said there's been no needs assessment and they're not happy about it.
Right, okay, we will,
I'll just mention
we'll have one so I can
Okay.
submit it, yeah.
I'll just mention it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Brown.
Yeah, just one other thing I thought, as it's two-storey, Joe, what sort of lifts are you going to have in there? Will they be able to get beds and such like in lifts? Or?
What sort of what, sorry?
Lifts.
Lifts.
Yeah.
We have 2 lifts in this home, I think, or is it 4? Let me just check on the floor plans, excuse me. Yeah, obviously there's escape stairs as well, but yeah, we always have at least 2 lifts just in case one ever needs servicing or what have you. Well, obviously they do need servicing, don't they? Let me have a look. Yeah, 2 lifts in this building, and they're just sort of off the main entrance lobby, off the main reception.
Yeah, what size are they, Joe?
They're quite large. I presume they maybe take 10 people,
Right.
8 to 10 possibly. I guess. Don't quote me on that, because I'm guessing. But
Right, thank you.
okay.
Okay, yeah, I'd just like to add my comment on this as well. Yeah, the building itself, because we had, I must admit, it was a block of flats, but because obviously we're consultees, aren't we?
Yeah.
But the main people in West Suffolk House are the ones that say yes or no to it. There was a comment similar with a flat roof that it looks like a prison. And it's not in keeping. And another thing that's always been spoken about is in keeping with the local area. Now, I agree with 2 comments come about the flat roof. It's definitely not in keeping with the area as well. Flat roofs really is not liked by a lot of people. So, you know, I'd just like to add my comment on that. Thank you, Joe.
I mean, what I'll try and do is find some better images that just show it, because it's not the old-fashioned style flat roofs that we all grew to hate in the 80s, for example. You know, obviously it looks a lot more modern, nicer than that. I'll try and find some different images of it for you, if that would help.
Yeah, because you said you have got other designs, haven't you, other than a flat roof, you were saying earlier in your presentation.
We tried, yes, essentially the short answer is yes. The reason we've tried to use a flat roof more often now is because we can get more solar provision on, so the energy reduction goes right down, the energy use, reduces. But yeah, we can certainly look into it if it really is a deal breaker. I think when we think our designers looked at this and when they'd gone to site, and I think the thought was that as it was a community use, I think the school nearby has a flat roof, doesn't it? And we thought it might assimilate more community use, would also be a bit lower because it is quite a big building. But yeah, perhaps we've not got that right in this instance, but I'll revert back to our design team.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, Councillor Burns?
No, I was only going to say, Joe, that the school is lower contours than the land we're talking about, which slopes up towards Kennington and then falls down the other side. But I was thinking it's more in keeping with what the Great Willesey site is. The school is not on Great Willesey; it's on Chalkstone Way. So, and the school that was built relatively recently, I objected to as well for exactly the same reason. Because we knew what was going to be going on Great Willesey, most of whom, yes, there are some flats with flat roofs, of course, but it's a big building. as you say, you know, I can't remember the width of it, but it's quite wide. You know, to me,
Yeah.
if this was a terrace block of residential, we'd expect it to be broken up with vertical space between, and that's what we've done on the other side. But have a think about it. See, you know, personally, see what can be done. You know, I think it's. I'm surprised. You know, Red Road themselves, who are the developers of the other, you know, the park around you, may have some comments on it, perhaps. If assuming they've been told about it, they weren't told about stuff before, so I might give them. You know.
I think we've been speaking to them about various things, yeah, because obviously there's access roads and things going in, so yeah, I think they are.
Okay.
But yeah, I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, thanks,
Joe.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for a really, really good presentation.
No problem, thank you.
Councillors, I'd like to propose, obviously, you'd like to see the result of that. So is there any comments on the proposal on this? Because, you know, we have mentioned about flat roofs and areas. It's up to, obviously, it's up to you now, councillors, what you're going to propose. Councillor Smith.
Not right, I'll just make a few comments. I mean, I wouldn't want to object to it, because obviously it's something that we need. But there are certain aspects of it we're not too happy about, like the aesthetics of it. I don't know what other councillors think.
Councillor Brown?
Yeah, to be fair, there's 2,500 houses going around there and another 1,000 the other side of the road. And, you know, it's a valuable asset, you know, to that community. As John mentioned, there are 2 other care homes planned, but to be fair, I think one has been in the planning process for 5 years, and the other one a similar time scale, and neither seems to have moved forward. So, you know, yours could actually come forward first. So, I personally am not so worried about the flat roof aspect. You know, I quite liked the design, and everyone's got an opinion on that. But yeah, so yeah, I'd be supportive of what you're planning anyway.
Okay. Councillor Green?
Yeah, I think Tony's right. In terms of the flat roof, so we've just been told that increases the number of solar panels. We've always talked about how we want the new builds to be green, so that kind of ticks that box. And it's going in an area where it's not having to fit in with existing houses. The people that will be buying houses up on the Red Rose site will know that this is going to be built. So I don't really have a concern.
It's right next door. It's right next door.
Yeah, the house hasn't been built yet, so
Yeah.
What they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sold? Yeah, no, I have no concerns. I think go ahead and do it.
Okay. Right, well, I'd like to propose then, unless there's any other questions at
Just
all.
one other little thing I forgot to mention. Yeah, so the crucial thing is obviously the tree planting and the maintenance of the hedges around there. So it actually does blend in as much as it can. It's a natural landscape. So yeah, if you can do that, it'd be really good.
Okay. Councillor Smith?
Yeah, I think the flat roof itself, obviously that lends itself to solar panels. I'm happy with it. It was just the actual facade that I was more concerned with. So a bit utilitarian, should I say? Other than that, I haven't really got any objections to it.
Yeah, I must admit, I was just sort of warning you when it comes to the planning committee, what it's called the Development Control Committee in West Suffolk, but there have been comments there, obviously about flat roofs, so I'd just like to point that out really as well. So, you know, you might have some sort of throwback on that really. Right.
I think the saving grace is it's not 3-storey, it's only 2-storey.
Yeah, that's true. Right, okay, can I have a proposal then? Councillor Brown?
Yeah, probably neutral.
Neutral?
Yeah.
Can I have a seconder? Councillor Green, right. You got that, Vicky? Yeah? All those in favour, please show. Yeah, that's overwhelming. Right, thank you, Ricky. Ricky, Joe. Sorry, this is Ricky, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well, Vicky. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
I
you.
hope you can hear us.
Thanks
okay.
everybody for your time. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Item 5, minutes of the previous meeting. May I sign these as a true record?
I'll just take it this way.
All those in favour, please show. Oh, do you need a seconder? The proposer, Councillor Smith, seconder, Councillor Brown. All those in favour, please show.
Stop that recording. Right, item 6, matters arising from those minutes. God, that's lovely. Really lovely and clear, isn't it? That is lovely. Don't think you guys are that, Right, okay, next page is 250. 251. 252. 253. Objection. 254. So, thank you very much.
So, you just go up on it. No. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, there's no members of the public on item 7. To consider planning applications to West Suffolk. And the first one is DC 26. Oh, of course, we've just done that one, sorry. The second, application 2, which is DC 26 0434 HH, small a, conversion of existing garage to habitable room. Small b, increase in height of garage by 300 millimetres. Small c, change of roof form from flat roof to pitched hit tiled roof, incorporating 2 roof lights. Excuse me. Small d, removal of garage door and insertion of access door and windows. Small e, removal of 1 rear garage window. And this is 8 Lemon Close. Oh, sorry, Councillor Green, I was too busy looking at him, that lovely screen.
Well, so I think it looks okay. It's a big plot, so proposed neutral.
Thank you. Any other comments at all? Just Councillor Smith.
Just a comment, obviously this is like a granny accident sort of thing, isn't it? With the, if it was ever sold separately, the emergency exit, the exit is through the main house, isn't it? Isn't that?
Oh, right.
Did I read that one?
Do you know what it was on?
What was the proposed floor plan?
Right.
emergency existing floor door retainers emergency exit.
Put your cursor on that. Cursor. There you go.
Is that an issue?
They're not suggesting it's a new dwelling, though, are they? So that's building regs. I don't know.
Yeah, just seemed a bit of a strange place to open an emergency exit through another building, whether it's self-contained or not. That's only my only comment anyway.
Right, okay. Right, we've got a proposer for neutral. Can we have a second then, please? Unless there's other comments. Councillor Brown. All those in favour, please show. Okay, it's carried. Thank you for that. Item 9. There's no street trading. Consider street trading licence. We haven't got any. So, item 10, which is matters to report. Is there any matters to report, councillors at all? No? Thank you very much. Right, item 11, date of next meeting, to consider postponing the meeting on the 21st of April and have it on the Tuesday, the 5th of May, due to the clash of the Science Festival. Is there any comments at all on that? No? Okay.
I may not be here because it's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
You could bring a cake.
I will.
Or two.
Yes.
Right, okay, item 12, closure, which is 7:42. 7:42.
You get your pension, right?
Ah,
So you can afford a cake.
is that? Yeah, it's what is the pension stage now? It's time for pension.
So that's much information.
Hang on, go and stop last week.
Just something.